All right, we're live. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show. I want to thank you for stopping in. Always, David Collins is here. I expect Pat and T-Dub later, and we'll see what's going on. So, what were you saying? The T-Dub later. No, hold it. Now I got to mute this. There we go. All right. So, what were you saying, David? That your old HP or
It didn't have it had either a single core or a dual core processor in it, and it wouldn't handle Zoom or ChatYard or anything like that. I had StreamYard rather. So this says a four core. It's a quad with 8 gigabytes of memory and a Seagate drive.
I don't know. T-Dub gave me a list of parts because I'm so out of it since I haven't built one in a while. And T-Dub and Pat have been continuously building computers. And so T-Dub gave me a list of parts and I just ordered them. And I stood in the garage and watched Pat put it together. And then I stood in here and watched Pat get it up and running. And the only thing I can tell you is that it's got a 2 terabyte solid state drive in it. And that it's got 16. The only thing I can tell you is that, and it's got 16 gigs of RAM. So.
Whew. Well, Joe told me that, I told him it had he told me what to get, And I said, I was talking to him yesterday. I said, yeah, I had the 8 gigs of RAM, and it's like, you do, huh? It's like, can you get better? So you went all the way to 16.
Yeah. Well, the last one, the Dell, that's right down there. I don't know if you can see the case, but right down there, the Dell had 16 in it too.
Oh, okay.
So let's see if I can find something here. And I haven't decided whether I was going to do this on video or not. Hey, YouTubers. Even though I did start it. Hang on. Let's see. Computer building station. So let me share this. Share screen. All right, this is the computer when it was all on the bench. Power supply, CPU, memory, 2 terabyte solid state hard drive and the motherboard in there. I got 2 terabyte hard drives that were standard hard drives that were in the other computer, and my video card in the other computer will be going into this. This is a new case. Land cool too. Case. So Pat and I get some time. We're going to start putting this thing together. I would assume the power supply goes in down here. Yeah. There's 2 case fans in it. So that's the next project. We'll be not working on the Camaro for a while. And speaking of the Camaro, yeah, the dash is done. I like it. It came out great. We're going to take the ashtray. Okay. We don't need any more of this since I'm done with.
So that box looks like a PC box, but it's Mac.
No, it's PC. Everything's PC.
I thought you were going to do a Mac. Okay.
I got a Mac sitting right here. And we had it up and running, but I needed both my monitors and the keyboard for this computer. So I got another monitor on order, and I'm thinking of going down to Fry's and getting a keyboard down there, and we're going to set the Mac up. Hold it. Let me take the camera. Hang on. All right. We're going to set the Mac up in this corner here, and that's it there. This is my 35 millimeter camera. This is the external drive for the desktop, but we're going to put the Mac right in here and set the keyboard right along here. And so we'll have the Mac over there and play with it. So yeah.
Wow, great.
So that's the plan, at least, subject to change, of course. Oh, come on. So
You know, it'll be a while before you fill up 2 terabytes of RAM, but on the same note, back in the day when I had a 20 megabyte Seagate drive, I go, I'll never need 20 megabytes of disk space. Look at where we are today.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I said the same thing. It's my first computer I built was back in 1983, and I don't know if anybody remembers the Zenith Heathkit. Who's in Chef Tush? Okay, he's in the chat. What is it, Chef Tush? CHEFTUSH. Okay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So, but yeah, and it was a Zenith Heathkit, and when they offered a 20 megabyte hard drive, I thought that's the neatest thing since sliced bread. Because before you had, and it was 5 1/4 inch floppies, you had to put floppies in to boot it up, and then once it got booted up, then you were able to do anything you wanted to do, because most of the operating system was in memory, and it was 64K memory. So you're streaming then.
You're running CPM.
I have a 2 terabyte hard drive, and it's almost full. Okay. Well, what I did is, for a backup, I got an external, and it'll sit right here, an external 6 terabyte hard drive, because the new machine isn't reading my old hard drives, and I'm getting ready to send those off for them to be, all the data taken off of them and to be put on another hard drive and sent back to me.
Daggone. See, I can get all that done for free.
Yeah,
Joe has my brother's name is Joe. He has a 1 terabyte caviar drive, he said, that I could have, and I said, well, send it, send it to me, I'll put it in the computer. Then he says, oh, you don't need it. And I said, well, I'll get it next time I'm there. I'll get the drive.
But yeah, it's I almost had I almost had a terabyte full of stuff, and it's mostly pictures of granddaughters and stuff on one of the old hard drives. And when I found this company that will sit there and do it, because they disassemble the hard drive and read the disk off the hard drive, because a hard drive is made up of just nothing but a whole bunch of disks.
Right.
And with little, I don't know, readers coming down and dropping down on them and everything. And so what they have a clean room, and they disassemble the hard drive and they read everything off the disk. But it's going to cost me $400.
Well, Joe doesn't do that. He just takes a computer and plugs your drive in there, and then puts a blank drive in there and just copies over whatever information. He can clone a drive.
Yeah.
Both the same size.
But see, that's what I think, that something's wrong with hard drives, because this computer isn't recognizing either one of them.
Oh, your drives are no good. Okay, yeah, they have to open them up and get the platters out of them.
Yeah.
Those discs out of the inside. Yeah. That's why you're having to send it off. Okay, that's a little beyond our abilities.
Right here. Over. Yep. Definitely out of my realm of expertise.
That's beyond our expertise.
But I guess you could sit there and say it came full circle in this house. It's in 83 I taught, or not in 83, but in 2001 and 2002 I taught T-Dub and Patrick how to build computers. And then 2020, T-Dub sat there and put the list together of the computer parts to buy. I purchased them, and then Pat sat there and assembled and got the computer running. So I guess that's what you call full circle.
Paid off.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Well, today we were in, Pat was over earlier, and hold on, let me get a drink. And he was finished setting up the car stereo for me. And I didn't believe all the crap that thing's got in it. I could sit there and watch a DVD and drive at the same time, which would be hazardous to the car's health.
I wouldn't recommend it.
But he sat there and he says, yeah, you can watch a DVD, you can do this, you can do that. Then he sat there and he goes, where are the USB cables? And I said, they're still back in there. And he goes, well, what do you got them back? And I sat there and I said, I never put the extensions on them or brought them up, because which one do I bring up? Because there are two of them. And one's for an iPhone and the other one's for, God, what's the other phone?
Android.
God, what is it? I can't remember, but it's for the other phone.
Well, there are two different kinds of phones. There's Apple, and then there's Android, and have a different plug.
The Android. Yeah.
And the Android has the standard mini USB plug. Just about all phones, except for Apple phones, have the mini plug. So that will, depending on whatever phone you have, that pretty much the Android plug will work with most of them. But Apple, you have to have a different plug.
So anyway, we had to take the panel off and the ashtray back out, and had to reach up there and pull the one cable down for the Apple phone, for the iPhone, and then sit there and run it. So then he sits there and hooks it up and shows me, well, now you can turn this whole radio into your phone. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah, now it's a big phone. So I have a program on there. When I was doing inspections, I had a program, where is it? Called withe. And withe is, well, come on. And withe is just basically, it'll show you where you are, and if you type in, God, now it's flipping all over the place. But it's a GPS program. So then he pulled up withe on the phone, and it went onto the screen. So now I sat there and I said, well, then why does this thing have GPS if you can do it off the phone? And he goes, I don't know. And I said, well, I had to find a way to fish this GPS antenna in. Hey, King Disaster Garage is in the house. What's going on? Let's see. Hey, Tom, I didn't forget you. I ran out of some shirts, but you did send you one. It's on the way. Should be get to you Monday. Cool. I'll wear it on next Friday's show. And that's everybody. Send me a shirt. I wear it on the following week's show. So today's Henderson Fire Department, my old workplace. So. But yeah, he was showing me a whole bunch of stuff on there and everything else, and stuff I didn't understand. He explained it to where I did understand it. And so we got the car stereo. So now I got to put all that back together. But I want to look for a USB plug port that I can sit there and physically mount in the ashtray. So when you pull the ashtray out, there's a USB port, and all I got to do is plug the phone into that and sit there and do it, and I could use the phone then to hold up the ashtray to hold up the phone.
That's golden. That's great.
Yeah, so now we're looking for that, and I've been playing with the front bumper, and I'll probably load that video up Saturday night, because I usually like to run them all together and not load up a whole bunch of videos. So run a week's worth of videos. God, I can't talk. And put them together, and then run that whole week and load it up usually on Saturday or Monday. So we'll load it up on Saturday. So, but that's what's been going on here. We're very windy. Going to be 103 today, but sunny.
$80 and cloudy here.
Okay.
But it feels hotter than 80 degrees.
I like Chopper's rule. I have a real cool stereo for my car. All I need is a car to put it in.
There you go.
Yep. Chopper sounds like T-Dub. He says, I have lots of movies. And I think that's what T-Dub, I think T-Dub's got a big drive that's all full of nothing but movies. Because we can sit in his living room and he can go on Wi-Fi to his computer and then pull up all the movies he's got stored on his computer. And what do you want to watch? And you just start scrolling down. But then he's got couches. He's got 2 huge leather couches that just suck you in. You'll be sitting there with a beer, and actually your hand will be up this high. You're sitting down, holding on to your beer on the arm of the couch, and 30 minutes, 45 minutes tops, you'll be sleeping. Guaranteed. Yeah. Guaranteed. That's how comfortable these couches are. So, I understand why T-Dub sits up there cross-legged with both legs on the cross-legged and sits there and always has an iPad or something in his lap doing something. But yeah, those couches will definitely knock you out. I think I think it was Hazy's show last February. We were at T-Dub's house, and I joined Hazy's show with my iPhone, sitting in his living room watching the Super Bowl.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Trying
to be real careful.
Trying to stay awake in those couches. But yeah.
Yeah, sporting events are highly copyrighted.
Yeah, what a chocolate cake, you could put it into cookie slave. Slave rockets. Yeah, but then you'd have to figure out a way to charge the battery because you'd be constantly running it down. So I was trying to get Hazy and Busy last Sunday to put me get me on their show. Send me the link, because then I was going to take tape and put a big X across my face and join in and see what Hazy has to say about it.
I noticed Hazy.
I still might do it if they come in today. I didn't even send them a link. So hold on.
I noticed Hazy took that video down he did about that.
He did?
He did before he did his live show. Yeah, I wanted to go back and watch it, and it was gone. It's not available.
Okay.
Then I watched Ian's live show today, the rerun of it. I didn't watch it while it was live. It had his scrapping buddies on it.
Did he say anything about it?
I didn't hear him say anything about it.
Okay.
I didn't listen to it all the way through because I was in and out, because it wasn't live. I was just playing it back. But Hazy went on about that for like 30 minutes, and I typed in the comment, I said, it's unfortunate that it happened, but we're spending a lot too much time on this. We need to move on because this is about having fun. It's not about, we don't need to dwell on this for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But I wasn't 100% sure what happened, and I wanted to go back, and it was too late. It was gone.
From what I got from it is that Ian was on a live show that somebody sat there and had you Dizzy's face up and had put a big red X across you Dizzy.
Yeah.
And said something on it, and I didn't catch that. So I'm only telling you what I heard.
I don't know who the somebody was.
And I don't know who the person was that did it, but it was apparently a friend of Ian's because Ian was on his live show. Hazy happened to catch it and see it. And Hazy went to Ian to defend his friend, which any friend, close friend would do. I mean, you would defend your friend, and
Yeah.
I don't blame Hazy one bit going to Ian because how he got to the show was through Ian. So you follow the path how you got there. And he went to Ian and asked what that was all about. And Ian gave him a song and dance and didn't admit to something. And the something I don't know what was about. And one thing led to another, and Hazy got pissed.
Yeah.
So
we may never know.
yeah. Well, he took down the video. Must have had good reason, or maybe Ian and him buried the hatchet and he got done with it. But I don't know. And it's the drama on YouTube is just not my style. So I don't try to go. I don't want drama. I want laughter, humor, and technical tips.
Yeah.
So you can keep the drama. But I've been working on the front bumper on the Camaro. Realized that the bumper extension brackets, I had them facing up, and they need to be facing down. And that's not the way my installation manual showed them. They showed them facing up. So now I got to pull those out and turn them upside down.
Yeah.
That's true, Chopper. We come on here as strangers and leave as friends. That's true. But you can't control on what somebody else is going to do as far as your friend is concerned. Maybe that individual, likes you and has no problem with you, but he has a problem with the friend that you're hanging out with and you hang mostly out with on. So I don't know. I don't like repeating anything unless I know the full story, the full truthful story. So to me, I was just dying like crazy on Sunday for them to sit there and send me the link to get on, because then I was going to come on and I was going to have a big X taped across my face and sit there and go, okay, now what?
Yeah, well, you don't know who he's going to send the link to. And he had me up there maybe the second Sunday. So I don't expect to be up there for a while. I think he's giving everybody a turn. Be up there for about 30 minutes at a time.
Well, him and Disney were on Grant's show yesterday before Jimmy C's show. And Grant got hammered, apparently, and dropped off the show. And it was just Dizzy and Hazy on running the show. And then they said goodbye. Well, we got to go. We got stuff to do. And they said goodbye and got off. So they're big Gaffa. So there for probably about a minute or so, if you find this on Grant's channel, you find this video, probably for about the last 2 minutes of the video, there's nothing but a blank screen. Nobody's on there. Because Grant had gotten off and left control to Hazy and Dizzy. And Hazy and Dizzy did all they could for, the 2 to 3 minutes that they had it. And then they got off, and that was it.
Well, that's I came out here at 4 o'clock this morning, and Jimmy C was still going at it. I was on his show for an hour this morning.
He was still going at it?
Yeah, and he said, "Come on up." And so I said, "Well, let me go get my coffee, and I'll come out here." And I was on there an hour.
I was on it. I wasn't on the show, but I was in the chat at 10 o'clock my time last night, which would have been 1 or 2 your time, 2 your time. Let's see, 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock your time. And he said he was only going to stay on 1 more hour, and then they were going to get off because they were doing it to raise money for, I can't remember who the girl was or anything. And I got the tail end of that, and I didn't even get the whole thing. So I wish Jimmy comes on today too, so I can ask him about that. And then I got off probably around 10:30 last night because it was getting close to news time, and I always like watching the news in the evening. And so I got off, and that was the last I saw of it. Monica was on for a while.
Okay, well, he asked me, well, where were you last night? Why, I mean, you've been coming up on the live streams. And I said, I'm getting too old to do I don't do all nighters like I used to, you know. Now, if you're still on, when I get up early in the morning, if you're still on, I'll come out here and get on the show.
Gaffa sat there and said they're raising money for Cindy Lopez. Okay, all right.
Yeah, Cindy. I was trying to think of her name, and I kept thinking
Well, then I should have told Monica, the painting that I got from Monica, I should have told her to put that into the raffle, and we could have raffled that off for Cindy too. To get a hold of Monica. See, and that's the other thing, is now I got to redevelop all my email addresses because I lost everybody's email address.
Well, I have Monica's email address.
Okay. Well, David, if you can, send me an email with Monica's email address and with your email address. I got to rebuild my address book.
Okay, well, I'll send it. I did get got a hold of Captain Jerk, and he said he wanted my regular address. I said, okay, and I sent that to him. So I got a surprise coming in the mail. I have no idea what to expect.
Okay. Well, Captain was auctioning off some really cool looking skeleton head magnets. Yeah. And I wanted to put a bid on a couple of those, but we can always use.
Hang on, I'm sorry I missed all that. I would have put something in the raffle.
We could have put magnets on. We always could use magnets for the fridge.
Well, you know, these flashlights I bought, these big beam, I went on there this morning just curious to look at them, and now they're going for $50 and $75, and I got mine for like $20.
Oh, the
I got 3 of them.
That 6-volt one.
Yeah, I got 2 more of them. The one of them takes 2 6-volt batteries.
Damn,
and it has a brighter bulb in it.
That's got to be a heavy sucker to carry around.
Yeah. But this one takes 2 batteries. So you're gotten myself backwards. All right. There's where the batteries go, and that's the light. This one's easier to open and close. The first one I got was dropped. Somebody dropped it. So that's, get it in front of the camera here.
Oh, okay.
The one battery's not quite strong enough to make the light bright. I got a case of the batteries. I found a case of batteries on eBay for $10. So 12 batteries for $10.
And they were all.
They're all the square batteries.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was looking on Amazon or whatever, and they wanted $10 for one battery. But now I got 12 of these. Now, these are like the cheaper grade general purpose batteries. I know that. But still, for $1 a battery, it's worth it. And then you got this one light that takes 2 batteries.
Okay. Well, it looks like you're fixed for batteries and power and everything else.
It's a childhood memory I had. My uncle worked at an auto parts store, and he brought one home one day from work and gave it to me.
Okay. All right, Chopper, you have a good day. Thanks for stopping.
Hey, Chopper.
We'll catch you on the next one. And Gaffa, I'm talking about email address book on the computer. I got to rebuild this one since I lost it on the other one. And just my luck, I'll be able to recover it and send it to me, but I'm just going to start rebuilding it. So
that happens. That happens.
Yeah, well, it just
start over.
Takes an hour or two sitting on the computer, typing away, just putting it in. I mean,
yeah,
it's nothing really big.
It is big, but it's not big.
Yeah, I mean, let's say it would be a big deal if I was still working, but since I'm retired and I have all the time in the world, it's not a big deal. It's still, I got projects that are lined up knee deep, and I mean, I still got some I got the rubber matting on the bottom of my toolbox drawers. I still got 3 drawers to finish off. I got another nut and bolt miscellaneous uh, rack that if you watch some of my videos, I put that up and I still haven't finished started configuring and making that the way I want. I got the Camaro, which is always going to be an ongoing project. And now we got the computer, which we just about got right where I want it. So
Great.
there's always something.
Well, there was the talk last night, this morning on Jimmy C's show. Everybody was talking about the COVID virus, and a lot of us think we already had the virus. I was sick in January with something I never had before and had the symptoms. One of the symptoms I had, it was something was coming out of my eyes and there's something coming out of my ear and all that. And ever since, I remember hearing something pop in my ear. And my ear has just cleared up and got better. When I was at the doctor in March, I was there for another reason. And I said, can you look at my ear and see if there's something wrong with my ear? And she looked in the ear. She said, oh, you have an allergy. It's a little red. And I thought, well, I've got my physical coming up in August, so I'll ask about it again. Well, it's all better now. It's gone. So within the last week or so, it finally cleared up.
That's what Pat and I were speculating because T-Dub and the granddaughters and Chrissy drove up here for Christmas for the 2 weeks, Christmas onto New Year's. And probably about the second, I want to say maybe the third or fourth day they were here, we all came down with something. Everybody came down with something. And we all caught it at the same time, but everybody's symptoms were different. I mean, Nancy definitely had something because you can tell through the nasal that she was, very congested and everything else. I had nasal issues, but more what me was I had a temperature.
Oh, it was a really high temperature. I probably had a temperature of 105.
And I remember going to bed one night just shivering to beat the band.
Me too. And it would come in waves. All I would want to be is in the bed.
And then it got to the point to where I was staying in bed most, a good portion of the morning, then getting up and coming down because I had to do it because of the granddaughters were here. They drove 16 plus hours to be here.
So you were sick while they were there.
And it's Christmas time. You gotta get up and do it,
Oh, you had it over Christmas.
Yeah.
I had it in January.
So Pat and I were speculating that we might have it. So.
Well, I bet if they tested me, they would get a positive reading for me.
We're still kicking around whether we're going to go to Dallas at the end of the month, even though we got the tickets and got everything. But with this going up and down, we still don't know. And so it would probably be a last minute decision.
Yeah.
We're going to go or we're not going to go. But yeah. It's weird. Now what is it? Houston, what is it? Austin, Texas and Houston, Texas are reporting that they have more cases coming in. It's like it's starting all over in those two cities. California, well, it's California. They're a bunch of idiots in that state anyway. But they opened up and if you saw a picture of all those idiots on the beach, and I use the term lightly, idiots, that you could sit there and see all them standing, they were doing social distancing next to each other, watching the waves come in. And I sit there going, okay, this is stupid. Yeah. But I think if you protect yourself, take care of yourself, that you can avoid getting it and still go out in public and practice social distancing.
I worry more about giving it to somebody else than catching it. Because I fight things off pretty well. When I get sick, it's usually never a big deal. I'll have to take a few days off from work, but whatever it is, I usually recover from it. I get over it.
Well, the thing that we had over Christmas, this past Christmas, Took us 2.5 weeks to get over it.
It was wicked. It was bad.
It was nasty. It wasn't the average flu slash cold that you usually get over the winter. I'll tell you that.
No, it was maybe twice as bad. It was worse, you know.
Yeah. And well, probably what didn't help is that with T-Dub and Pat here, and all three of us had it. Well, T-Dub didn't have it. Pat and I did. I had it first, and then Pat started coming down with it. But we all kept drinking.
Yeah, I did too. I shouldn't have been mixing Alka-Seltzer Plus and alcohol, but I was.
Mine was go to bed and take a big thing of NyQuil and go to bed.
Yeah.
And then there was one night I think I made hot toddies and got dressed in sweats. And I think that's what really knocked it out for me. I drank 2 hot toddies, got dressed in sweats, and I must have sweated off about 4 pounds that night because
I know I was in the bed under the covers freezing, and I had the heat on, you know. It wasn't cold in the room. It was
Okay.
But there were 13 cases of it at my job. They closed my job for a week, 10 days. And they were all at home. None of them had to be hospitalized. They were at home in quarantine. Now they had 13 positive tests, but I think maybe only 8 people were actually sick.
Okay.
Because they were exposed and they got tested. The company tested.
I got a kick out of Walmart. We went to Walmart this morning. We usually do our shopping once a week on Friday mornings. Nancy's off Thursday and Friday, so we went to Walmart, her store where she works at night. And they're still scrubbing down the carts and everything else. Hey, Shandog, what's going on? And they were still scrubbing down the carts and sitting there telling everybody social distancing and everything else. And I want to say the majority of the people in that store had masks and gloves on. Okay. Then Nancy forgot to get milk, so she ran to Albertsons, which is a grocery store. It's like Publix, which is right next door to the house. She ran there and got a gallon of milk, and she was in that store, and I made sure she had gloves and a mask before she left. And she says there was nobody in that store wearing a mask or gloves. She says, I think me and the cashiers and the people who worked in Albertsons were wearing masks and gloves, and everybody else wasn't.
Yeah.
Shandog said hi, David.
Well, hi, Shandog. I meant to say hi.
But he popped in to say hi and can't stay. Try to make it back. Be good, everyone. Okay, well.
Okay,
make it back if you can.
Come back if you can.
We got about an hour and a half left to go. We've only been on 30 minutes out of a 2-hour show, so yeah.
Well, that's a good opportunity to get another one of these.
You go get one. So I hope everything is good and everybody else's Friday afternoon. And I wonder, Gaffa, is that auction still going on, or did Jimmy close it last night when he closed the show? So we'll see what Gaffa has to say. That was a great cause they did for Cindy. I mean, it was outstanding. I wonder if there's another account set up that you can sit there and donate money to her on that, if I can't sit there and get into the auction then. So we'll have to see. But and let's see what else. Doing the front bumper on the car, like I said. Realize that outside as the Camaro bumper comes and curves around, there's a mount for the bumper that goes onto the side of the fenders and the lower fenders. And my installation manual showed them pointing up, and in reality, they need to be pointing down. And so now I got the driver's side out and verified that that's the case and put it back in. And I'm in the process of tightening that up. I did that this morning. But what I'm trying to do is weld in the bumper bolts. You know how on the old cars you got it's a castellated or not a castellated bolt. It's a oh God, now I can't think. Never mind. But it's a carriage bolt, and
Oh,
it's got the dome on it. And as
yeah.
you look at the bumper, you see it. Well, the rear bumper, I took all those, cut the dome off and welded in the bolts. So then if you look at the bumper, there's smooth, there's no bolts holes on it. But with these on the side of the fender extension, these bumper mounts that are on there have long bolts on it. And what I wanted to see if those would sit there. And if I still welded them in, if I could still somehow rotate and get the bumper to fit in and do the same on the back. So that's what I'm playing with right now. Okay, who's here? Let's see, hold on. Okay, let's run into the Apple store for Emily's phone, so he hopes to be back. And Pat is stuck in traffic and he doesn't want to make it. Hold on, wait. I'll read exactly what he says. I'm probably not going to make it back or make it because traffic sucks balls. Okay. So we'll see. But come to 3:30 and halfway through the show, I got something I want to talk about, and it has to do with all this stuff going on as far as the BLM and everything else. And I'll just say, I just have a question, and I would love for somebody to answer the question. And so when we get to the 3:30 mark, I'll lay my little spiel out, and then I want somebody, and then I would love for somebody to answer the question for me. And we'll wait. I want to wait until the 3:30 mark, at least be on the show.
Tom, I'm going to send Jimmy C the link if that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, I put it in there, so.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Twitter it to him.
Oh, okay. And do Captain Jerk if you can. I used to have those guys as email addresses too, and I don't have them.
I can email it to Captain Jerk. I don't know if I have Captain Jerk on Twitter.
Well, if you have Jimmy's email address and Captain Jerk's email address and Monica's email address, I would appreciate it, David, if you put that all together on an email and give them to me.
You want that now?
No, you can do it later. I got to still get you Disney's. I had Hazy's. I had you Disney's. I had a whole bunch of people. I'm just hoping they can recover all this stuff. But I'm probably going to sit down on Sunday and start. Sunday's laundry day for me, and start building my address book up again, and get that in.
Well, I could email your link to Captain Jerk, but I don't know if he'd check his email. That's the only thing.
Oh, never mind. I got Jimmy C's email. Yeah, I got Jimmy C's email, so you don't have to send me his.
Well, I'll send. It's just us, so I'll send you mine and Captain Jerk's while we're at it. You know, to get into it. I don't have access to my email. I've been having a little trouble either with the computer or the internet, and it's not letting me go on the email. I'm getting an error. We're having trouble finding that, it says. And I don't know if that's in the computer or in the internet that I have.
When I find one out, I usually, if I go through one browser, like a Windows-based browser, and I can't find it, then I'll go like Google Earth and try it through Google Earth, and I end up going
That,
back.
well, the way I can get it back, it works every time. I have to close everything out, close the browser, and then reopen the browser. It's all back. I'd have to close everything out and get off the show, your show, and then get back onto the show. So it's not worth it to me. So I'll just email you after the show's over.
Hey, I don't get till Sunday, so take your time, David.
Yeah. I was just going to do it real quick, so while we were talking about it, be said and done. But I don't want to have to log out and then log back in.
All right, now what are you drinking?
Fat Tire.
Tire. I saw the bottle, flat tire.
Because I only have one browser up. I have Firefox. I did have Chrome, but for whatever reason, it got uninstalled. I don't remember if I uninstalled it. I ran into a bug with it of some kind. It wouldn't save my passwords. All of my websites kept wanting me to put the password in every time. And I gave up on it and just went to Firefox. And I haven't had a hint of trouble. But I couldn't remember about half of my passwords, so I had to go on the websites and request them to be reset and go through that mess. That was everything. That was Amazon, my phone provider, my healthcare, the doctor's office, everything had to be reset. Walmart had to be reset. So aggravating.
Yeah. Well, the fun thing is you get a new computer and realize a lot of stuff didn't transfer over, and now you're constantly loading up. I spent 2 days loading up software. Shutting down.
Are you using the same browser you used on the other computer?
I use Windows Explorer for my primary, and then my backup is Google Chrome. And I'm beginning to like Google Chrome better than Windows, because I'll go to a website on Windows, and I'll sit there, and Windows will say can't find it or do something on it, and I'll go okay. Take the same search request, go to Google Chrome, and they find it. So that's Pat can't understand why I got Google Chrome on here, and that's exactly why I got it on, because apparently Microsoft has a hard time looking for some of the sites I'm looking for.
Yeah, Bing is Microsoft, I think. They just work a little differently. What I like about Bing is, Google, you were able to look at pictures on Google, and I like to download them into my photo editing software so I can, blow them up and make them bigger, because you can't always blow them up while you're looking at them on the website. Mm-hmm. Well, Google stopped letting you download them. You have to go to the website. So what I've been doing is going on Bing, and Bing will still let you download the photo to your photo editing software. But Google complained that the websites weren't getting credit for their photos.
Oh, okay. Well,
Bing didn't change it.
I was just looking for the front bumper installation schematic that GM put out in '68, and I couldn't find it on Microsoft. Well, Bing probably, like you say, on Microsoft. But I went to Google and typed the same search, the same words, imaging of 1968 Camaro front bumper installed. Typed that, and bam, came up. And then the first two sheets were the first two pages out of the installation manual that weren't in my installation manual that I copied and pasted into my photo directory and was able to print.
Great.
That's the difference. When I got that Camaro, it was drivable, but it was in so many pieces that most of the car was in the back seat or in the trunk.
Yeah.
Okay. So there were parts on that car, and the last Camaro I was working on, 68 Camaro that I was working on, was 45 years ago, or actually 46 years ago, because it was the car I had before I got married. And so I'm not going to remember all this stuff and how it all goes back together. So I rely on that installation manual a lot, or that assembly manual more or less a lot. I'm putting that car back together. And if I can't find it, then I'll go online and I'll Google search it. You know, and I call Google
Yeah.
search because that's everything. And I'll either use Google or I'll use Microsoft, and I'll search it, and whoever gets me the site and what I'm looking for is, and that's how I find half the, when I do a video and I show, well, this is what I printed up, this is how it shows how it goes together, because I'm learning and I want to pass that on to everybody else who's doing a 68 Camaro. So, okay, hang on, my turn.
Huh.
All right, I'm back.
All right. Great.
I got this. Sammy Hagar has this. He sold the one tequila company that he had, and now he's venturing into. I don't know if he's into this other one, but he's on his website, and I'm a big fan of Sammy Hagar's. Maybe
Yeah.
because both he and I are the same age, but I like his music a lot. I started listening to his music when it first came out, so, and all along. And so
Right.
he came out with another tequila brand. It's Santo, Santo.
Uh-huh.
And he has tequila, and then he took mezcal and mixed it with tequila and called it mezquila.
Okay.
And that's what that is.
And you like that?
First time.
We're gonna find out.
I'm going to find out here in a minute. But I do like a good tequila. I always have and always will. Actually, it goes back to where we were stationed at MacDill Air Force Base back in the early 70s. That was the base I got back when I got back from Thailand in Southeast Asia, was MacDill. And at that time, it was a training base for F4s. If you were a young butterball lieutenant coming out of flight school and you were able to move on, and you were flying F4s, that's the base you would go to learn how to fly F4s. And every Wednesday night, we called it, and this was back in the 70s, it was hump night. We called it hump night, and there were a group of us, there were probably a total of maybe 10 or 12 of us at the most. Some married, some guys were single, some guys were married with their wives, and we all would get together at Mike and Al's apartment, because it was a big 2-bedroom apartment in downtown Tampa. And it would be hump night, and the reason a hump night is you had to bring a new record album. Remember, there were albums back then that you just heard about, or new album that you heard about, because we all got into music.
Yeah.
And you had to bring a bottle of Jose Cuervo Gold, because we would sit there and indulge in the 420 and drink shots of Jose Cuervo Gold. And even Nancy would drink it at that time back then. And she
Yeah.
doesn't drink now whatsoever, not even wine.
Wow. Wow.
And that's what we would, every Wednesday night, that's what we would do. It'd be a ritual, you know, and it was some great times. But yeah, I was drinking tequila way back then. So, I mean, it's a good tasting tequila is really good. So I enjoy it.
I like the margaritas. A lot
Oh
of
yeah.
times
Well,
I
it's,
go out
I
to
get,
Mexican.
we got this one Mexican restaurant. And if you ever come up to visit, I'm going to haul your ass there.
Well, I'm coming up to visit, so you don't have to worry about
And
that.
I'm going to haul your
I
ass
don't know
there.
when I'm coming, but I'm coming.
But Nancy is really good friends with the owners of this place, and this place is outstanding. And
Yeah.
all I do is I tell them to give me a picture of margaritas, and I get them on the rocks, not the slushy things, on the
Good
rocks.
thing I'm not driving,
Yeah.
because I will not be able to get my way back home.
But I usually, when I sit there and I know the minute I order and he sat there, you want anything to drink, and I'll say, yeah, give me a picture of these. And he looks at the table and he goes, 2 glasses. And Nancy looks at him, she goes, no, 1 glass. And he goes, 1 glass? And well, don't do away with the glass. I'll drink right out of the freaking pitcher, you know? And so he laughed at the one time I said that, but it's Viva Macarta's, and it's right by the house. And
Okay.
we go in there and have an awesome time.
That sounds real good. I like good Mexican food. There isn't a decent Mexican place here in my town. I mean, you can get good Mexican food, but you really can't get first class Mexican food here.
Well, I'll take you there, David, and
Yeah.
I mean, you'll get what you want. And
Yeah, there's this one.
whether you want it hot or whether you don't want it hot, you can get that too.
Yeah, there's this one place I like real well, and nobody wants to go there, and I don't know why. I think they have excellent food, and they don't want to go to that restaurant, and I don't know why they don't want to go, but they go to these other restaurants, and they kind of remind me of Taco Bell a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about Taco Bell and maybe one notch above Taco Bell. And, you know, this food is mush. You want some real Mexican food.
Well, I was fortunate. Nancy's half
Yeah.
Hispanic, so when I was dating Nancy and I got invited to dinner, it was out. And actually, you would have laughed your ass off at this poor Irish Catholic boy from Northern Illinois. And Nancy and I were dating, and she says, "You want to come to dinner?" And I said, "What are you having?" She goes, "Enchiladas." And I go, "What the frick is enchiladas?" She says, "Don't worry, you'll enjoy it." And I said, "Okay." So I got invited to dinner, and I'm sitting there with her 3 brothers, her father, Nancy, and her mother having dinner. And these things were so freaking hot at the time. You got to remember, this is early 70s. At the time, they were so freaking hot. I was drinking milk like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they were all laughing at me.
Well, no, the milk's good for it.
Yeah. Well, they were all laughing at me because of the amount of milk I was drinking. Funny thing about it is, now I'll make the enchiladas the same way Nancy's mom made it. And Pat will look at me going, "You made these, Dad?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "You didn't make them hot enough."
Well, you order enchiladas.
Sweat pouring off my head, you know, and I'm tasting the chilies and they're really good and everything else. And he goes, and so he says, "You didn't make them hot enough."
You order enchiladas here, and they look more like burritos are wrapped up in something, and then they put cheese on top of them and kind of melt everything. It reminds me of something frozen a frozen thing. And the meat inside the enchiladas you can tell it's that canned stuff. It's not fresh meat.
This is good stuff.
And they like these places. I don't understand why they want to go to these places.
I don't wait. The way Nancy's enchiladas are Santa Fe, New Mexico, or Southern New Mexico style, because that's where her mother was born and raised.
Yeah.
Was there, up in the mountains. And if you ever ask where it was, all I know the initials are TA, so I'll leave it at there. And I know it's north of San Fran. I know it's north of Santa Fe. I was going to do it again, say San Francisco. north of Santa Fe, but south of Durango, up in the mountains. And the
That's what I thought you were going to say.
are TA, but they stack it. They're stacked.
Yeah.
And then around the plate, because it's a taco size tortilla, and around the plate's a bed of lettuce and tomatoes, and then a fried egg on top. And that's how it's served. And Pat now, all these years we were making them, Pat now is just starting to eat them with the fried egg on top. And I've been eating them that way all along. So he's sitting there, he tried it one time, he goes, "Damn, Dad, this is good." And I go, "You think?" So, all right, it's 3:30. And David, if you just bear with me and let me ramble on for about the next 5 minutes, here's my question that I wanted to ask. And it's granted, it's going on with current times and everything else, and the Black Lives Matter movement and everything else. And so I got a real simple question, and it involves a little thinking and a little bit of history. But my question is this. 159 years ago, the Civil War started in 1861, okay? And at the time the Civil War started, it was primarily about slavery and all men are created equal and freedom, which I firmly believe in 100% everything along those lines. The issue or the problem that I'm having is after 159 years of this going on in this country, that the black man still has issues with the white folks. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you remembered that for 159 years. Well, then why didn't the black folks remember that it was the Republican Party that wanted to abolish slavery, and it was the Democratic Party that wanted to keep slavery? And then why aren't the black folks who remembered for 159 years that it was the white man that kept them slaves or doing slavery, that they didn't sit there and have the same remembrance towards the Democratic Party? Why is that? And to take it one step further, our last president, not Trump, but Obama, was a member of the Democratic Party, and he was black.
Yeah.
So you got a political party that is in power in the country that wants to keep slavery. You have a political party in power that wants to abolish slavery. And that's what the Civil War was primarily, my understanding, about. Well, if the black people of this country are holding the white folks, and actually I think they hold all white folks, whether they're in Europe, they're holding them responsible too. I don't know, but they're holding the white folks responsible for the slavery and everything else and discrimination and all that. Well, it's fine and good, and I understand that. If you're going to carry a grudge, how long are you going to carry the grudge for? You know, time to
150 years is a long time.
Yeah, time to sit there and bury the hatchet. You're created equal. If we find sons of bitches on this planet who don't think that way, kick them off the planet and let's move on. My question is why don't they have the same feeling towards the Democratic Party? Why is that?
And I don't have the answer, to be honest.
What brought this about is Nancy knows I'm a history buff, and I could probably cite dates and times and certain things in history and everything, because I am a history buff. I'm probably, if you were to say, I'm a nerd on history and everything. There was the History Channel had over Memorial Day weekend had a three-part episode show on Grant, Ulysses S. Grant. And Grant was a Republican, and he hated slavery. And that show that I watched was probably the most accurate, put together show on Grant that I've ever seen in all the years watching TV or going to the movies or anything else. I would have loved to seen a movie, a 2.5 hour good movie done on Ulysses S. Grant, because he was probably, my eyes, the most misunderstood general in the United States, and probably the misunderstood politician of this time. But he was a Republican, and he hated slavery. He hated
Yeah.
slavery with a passion. So much so that he married into a family who was pro-slavery, Democratic family, wanted slavery, was pro-slavery. And for his wedding gift, his father-in-law gave him a slave.
Uh-huh.
So during the building of his house, he was working right hand in hand with this slave
Mm-hmm.
building his house. And
Yeah.
the house got built, and he told the slave, "You're free. I give you your freedom. I don't, you can stay here and you want to help, I'll pay you as an
Yeah.
employee. But as a slave, you are no longer a slave.
Yeah, but you stay here and work if you want to. Yeah.
You can stay here and work, and I'll pay you for your work, but you're no longer a slave." And the other side of the coin is that what made Lincoln and him so close, because Lincoln had the same distaste for slavery as Grant did.
Uh-huh.
And he was a Republican. Now, I'm not trying to boast the Republican Party, and I'm not trying to downgrade the Democratic Party. I got just a legitimate question. Is if Black America has issues with the white people after 159 years, why don't they have the same issues with the Democratic Party, who tried to keep slavery going and started a war over it?
I'd have to think about that one a while, but if I could make a guess, is that people don't learn history. Majority of people. And that's why they make mistakes. History repeats itself. I bet you 99% of people in the Democratic Party never made that connection that you just made.
Well, the other side of the coin that I've noticed, and this is my 70 years of life on this planet that I've noticed, and everything else, is the fact that people forget.
People forget. Yeah.
They forget. They don't. Well, hold it. Do you remember Clinton got impeached, and he got impeached further in what they tried to do to Trump?
Yeah.
But Clinton got impeached, and Clinton flat ass lied on America TV. Okay.
Well, can you give me 5 minutes to be on my soapbox for a little while, because I've been thinking about something.
Let me finish, and I'll give you the floor. I'll even make you a big screen.
All right.
That's the whole thing. Is America? Yeah. People forget. America. A lot of people probably don't even realize that the Civil War was over slavery, but it also was over two political parties that were in power on what the political parties wanted. And that was the other faction. So I'm done, David. I'll give you the floor, and it's all yours.
Well, it's not to create a political platform or anything, but something I've been kicking around for a while is freedom. And this Powell thing with all the rioting, yes, it's black and white, but it's also freedom. And Tom, you were a fire person. Either if you weren't a firefighter, you were closely working with the fire department, and you were trying to keep everybody safe. That was your job, was safety, to make sure buildings and structures and things like that are safe in case of an emergency. Well, what I'm looking at is law enforcement in our country, and more specifically the police departments in our country and the police officers in our country. And I think that's what a lot of this rioting and demonstrating is about. Now, our police department in my hometown is in support of Black lives. The police chief of police and the sheriff are helping these people do these demonstrations. They're peaceful demonstrations. And they have done a few things, like they closed down one highway, like a major highway in our town. And the police said, no, you can't do that. But what I have been kicking around long before this came up was how law enforcement is done in our country. And our country was based on freedom. And the problem I have with law enforcement is that police officers are people, and they will do what people will do, and they'll get in a situation, and they will get that adrenaline rolling, that rush. And I think our country, in a lot of ways, beyond the law enforcement side of it, we're losing our freedom. These agencies, law enforcement agencies, are not enforcing laws. And when they do enforce the laws, they use too much force. And, I watch what's going on in my hometown, and I see people speeding, going 20, 30, 40 miles over the speed limit and endangering people's lives, creating a safety problem. I see in the news, rather, not firsthand, I see a convenience store get robbed and no police officer anywhere around the convenience store to be seen. But yet, they'll pull you over for expired inspection. They'll pull you over for expired tags. In other words, I think police officers, not all of them, but a majority of them, are lazy. And they want to sit around and eat donuts and drink coffee. And our freedom is being invaded.
Hang on, Hazy.
But these these law enforcement, we've lost our freedom. They have government agencies and law enforcement agencies putting regulations on everything and telling us what to do. We're being watched. It feels like we're being watched. It feels like we're moving into gradually creeping into a socialist society where the government has too much control over us. I mean, you remember when we were kids, we had much more freedom, and we did stupid things. We got in trouble, but nobody kept records of it. It was over and done with. Now you do something, you get a speeding ticket or whatever, it's on your record forever. You try to interview for a job or something like that, and they pull it up. Oh, well, we see you had a speeding ticket in 1986, and I'm going to leave the floor from there. But I think a lot of the law enforcement and bureaucracy has too much power over us. And we, as a country, need to assert our freedom again, because our freedom is piece by piece by piece, gradually getting chipped away. And that's my question is what do you think about that? How do you feel about that?
Okay.
All right.
Hazy joined us.
I see you, Hazy, in your spaceship.
Hello. How are you?
Hello.
Man, I was hoping you'd pull me up on your Sunday show. I was gonna take 2 pieces of masking tape and put a big X over my face and go, what? What?
Well, listen, let's not talk about that.
Okay, no, I had to mention that.
That's not relevant anymore. I said what I had to say because of the situation.
I understand completely.
Anyone that watched the live stream from the beginning, I said it from the beginning to the end. And that's it, Although I have pulled the live stream down, I wait till it got 200 views and I pulled it down. It's not something I want there forever. I just wanted certain people to understand what happened, To be honest, nobody would know nothing if it wasn't for other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
David, this stuff's off.
Some people are just not grown up enough to accept that they've been pushed to the side for reasons,
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. Happy Friday. I'm gonna have a beer with you.
Happy Friday.
Cheers.
I'm gonna send you both one of these when I send your guitars off.
All right, great.
It's the bottle opener I made.
Yeah.
You branded the back, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right.
Look at this. Look how good it is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Pat just noticed I branded the tool bench twice the other day when he was building the computer. When he's building this computer that we're on YouTube with,
Listen,
He
I finally got myself a blowtorch for it too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I was looking in the wrong places. I was looking in the places where professionals buy their stuff.
No, go to like Home Depot. I know what they don't have.
I
Home
didn't
Depot
realize
there,
that you
but
could
yours
buy
is
them
equivalent.
cheap ones like that. You know.
Yeah.
They're just a bottle with a little torch on top of them. That's what a lot of
And the
people.
bottle just costs you. And if you go to Map Gas, it's a little hotter. So
Yeah. And the Lowe's sells Mac.
That was my problem. That's where
Yeah.
I was running into expensive stuff because I wanted map gas. But I don't need map gas. It just I can heat it up in a couple of minutes, you know.
yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
A little cylinder. What about
I've also put a new handle on it.
Yeah.
Did you do it long like you were talking?
Yeah, it's much bigger. It's not really long, but it's a nice chunky handle.
What were you trying to do? Get like an acetylene?
The handle that he had on there, as the torch was heating up, it would go up the metal and would expand the metal, which would then crack the wood.
Yeah, that's what happened. It's split on where he put the screw.
Okay.
So what I done, I just drilled out his screw holes, then put a bolt straight through. I got a piece of wood and just cut out a piece for the branding iron to slip inside, and then drilled through, but recessed the screws, and I tightened it up, and then I put wooden dowels in the holes, and then cut it off so you can't even see the bolts.
Yeah.
Wooden.
Cool.
And I also branded it.
You branded your handles on your branding iron.
Yeah. just so I know which way's up by looking at the handle.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, when you I can see that,
You know what I mean?
I don't know which side's up.
I don't know, when I was playing with it, when I was on the video with you, and I always had to turn around and look at it, and then
Yeah. So now I know just by looking at the side of it, which as long as Hazy Days is upright for me, then it's upright for the iron.
I don't know. There was a big discussion on one of my live shows about you running around the neighborhood branding all the cats and dogs.
But that have crossed my mind. I'm not going to lie. I can't wait.
They'll know who did it.
I can't wait to brand somebody.
Actually, I was about to say this. I don't put it past you one bit to offer somebody something
Yeah.
to get branded by that branding iron.
Listen, if it was 10 years ago, somebody would have been branded already. You know?
Yeah.
My circle's a lot smaller than it used to be. I used to be pretty like a party animal, so I'd always be around people, you know?
Well, that's done. People do brand each other. They get something out of it.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. I've come close to branding myself.
There's a couple of fraternities.
I'm sure you have at some point.
There's a couple of college fraternities that if you want to join the fraternity, you got to get branded.
Yeah. Ooh.
And David, this stuff is good.
You'd have to be pretty drunk, to get branded. How many?
This stuff is really good.
What is it?
You like it?
Let me get the bottle.
What are you drinking, David?
I'm drinking Fat Tire. I don't know if I have any Guinness cold. I had an Old Chub before I had this.
Nice. I've never heard of that, Fat Tire. I need
You aren't missing anything. It's a amber ale. I think they make it in Colorado. I think it's connected with Coors somehow.
Holy shit, what's that? 100%. Oh, Pernod. Is it not? It's not Pernod, is it? Puro. That's a nice bottle. What is it?
It's tequila and mezcal mixed. It's mezquila. It's Sammy Hagar's new stuff.
Nice.
I'm a big fan of Sammy Hagar, and I follow everything he does. But his original tequila was okay, and he just started out with this stuff. It's tequila Santo. It's tequila, and this is mezcal and tequila mixed, as you can see right there.
Yeah.
And I kept hearing about it, and I had to try it, so I went out and got a bottle. $50 for this bottle, though.
$50. Oh shit!
You're getting up with Ian Matthews there, buying the sampling the whiskey, the stuff he buys.
Listen, I went to a store and bought him a bottle for £300.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't all my money.
For a bottle of whiskey.
Well, Mark sent me money to buy him a nice bottle. He sent me 250 quid. To buy
And then
him
had to deliver it.
Yeah, but I put 50 quid of my own money to it and bought him a £300 bottle. It was on top shelf. It was like fucking. It was glowing. It was like.
Let me get this back in the fridge. I'll be back.
Mark M's a great guy. He's got a heart of gold.
Listen, he's unbelievable. He's never level.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Looks like great stuff.
Well, I normally don't get political on YouTube, but I thought I'll have my 5 minutes on the salt box. In the UK, what do you feel? Do you think government is taking your freedom away?
Fucking right there.
Do you think government agencies are prying their way into your freedom, taking your little by little, taking your freedom away? And the main thing about this freedom is the way they collect information on people, the way they can watch people. They keep records of everything.
Everything now, even to the degree, those Fitbit watch things you can get?
Yeah.
Well, they come with an app. So you got to download an app. So in the small print of the app, they're using your data, So what they can do with that data, you might think to yourself, what can they do with that data? But they can send it to insurance companies, if they
health insurance, they can find out how many miles a day you walk.
Health insurance, yeah. They can tell whether you're a good sleeper, anything.
Well, it's like if you go to apply for a job, okay, depending on the employer, they probably have a way to get to that information. And they say, oh, well, we see you walk 5 miles a day. Well, we would really prefer that you walk 10. And it's like, we're not giving you the job because you don't walk 10 miles a day.
Yeah.
And I know that's a way oversimplified, but I'm looking more from a law enforcement point of view. Like the law enforcement officers, the people, some of them have too much power on people. This with Powell, they didn't need to kill the guy. They just needed to put the handcuffs on and take him down to the station. What was hard about that?
Exactly.
Say, you're going to the station with us,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, it's so deep rooted with corruption. Like the corruption goes to the top. It's never gonna, because what they'll do, it's like that's why they got like things like internal affairs and stuff, isn't it? To it's supposed to sort out the corruption within the system. But then that's corrupt. Everything's got a price, and everyone's bought at some fucking stage of the game.
Well, that's the second reason why I do not live in I'm not going to say the great state. I do not live in Illinois. Because if you look at the past several governors of the state of Illinois, they've been thrown in prison for one reason or another on form of corruption or taking this or selling that or doing that. And to me, that whole state, all the way up to Chicago and including Chicago PD, are all corrupt sons of bitches. Don't care to live there.
Yeah. Well, I feel lucky to live where I live.
They're like that because obviously they're not. There's good and bad and everything. But you can't have those type of people in that position in life.
No. So, and see, I love Nevada because it's actually not a very populated state. Think about it, and we can fit the whole state of New York in here, and still have room.
Yeah.
So I can drive take 20-minute drive outside of my house. And I could be in the middle of nowhere, stripped down stark naked, and yell at the house.
Well, see, I'm considering.
Sounds like
I'm
fun.
playing with the idea of moving to New Hampshire. I think I'm going to do research on that's live free or die. It's like those people they're not going to let people invade their freedom.
Yeah.
They're going to do what they want to do.
What?
That's Sammy Hagar. Is new tequila.
Yeah, he likes it. Mikey likes it.
Yeah, I'll pick something for you.
Are you picking on kids now?
Well, I mean, she took the remote upstairs and put it in her toy box, so I couldn't watch any fucking TV this morning.
Nice.
So I had to turn on the TV, and thank God LG has an app I can download and use my smartphone as a TV remote. So that's like the only saving grace. But I'm like, it's a pain in the ass because now I got to use 2 remotes to operate the Apple TV and the TV when I had one. I have it programmed to do one.
Pizza. Individual remotes, huh?
Yeah, I see, and it's even the LG remote. It's the one that came with the TV. I was able to program my Apple TV to use this one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right.
I'll pick something for you.
So
Why don't you watch Tiger King?
It's just you and Jody?
No, the big kids are upstairs, but I just got back from dropping all of Brianna's friends off.
Oh. I'll tell you what, I would have done the same thing that I did to you one time I would have done that to Brianna. I would have walked outside and looked at my car and went like this, and she goes, "What are you looking at?" I'm saying, "I'm trying to figure out where it says taxi across the roof of the car." And I know I did that to you or T-Dub a couple of times, and I did the same thing. I went outside, and they sat there talking about dinner, and I went outside the front door, and I standing out on the sidewalk looking up at the house, and they go, "What are you looking at, Dad?" And I go, "Well, it says restaurant across the road."
Go sit down. That's funny. Sorry.
Tell Jody I don't want to talk to her. Oh, he's not going to say that. Oh, muted himself.
No, I muted myself so you guys don't have to hear me if I want to yell at her. Because I'm picking what is going to... Ooh, Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. I haven't seen Silence of the Lambs in such a long time.
30 years. We are like 25
I got a kick out of T-Dub sitting there watching PT 109.
109, yeah.
Just ruined my dinner.
But then the thing that really got me the most was this. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Oh, Elena standing there in front of the TV.
Elena's sitting there standing there in front of the TV watching it right with T-Dub.
What is that?
T-Dub sat there and caught himself watching an old 60s movie on John F. Kennedy called PT 109. And the next thing you know, there's Elena standing there at the coffee table.
I don't want to get sick.
Staring at the TV, watching it with Dad.
My cooking is not bad.
So it was quite funny to sit there and do that, to see that.
Yeah.
But T-Dub's, I could see T-Dub going through a hard time this week because Chrissy just had gallbladder surgery and he's watching all 3 girls while she's recuperating.
Oh my.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But one thing was funny is Pat.
Knock it off.
When Pat was setting the stereo up in the 68 Camaro this morning, he was on the phone with T-Dub and they're talking back and forth about what the stereo will do and won't do. And I don't think the stereo will do anything. It'll do everything. I mean, it's just unbelievable what it does.
We forgot to put a mark on the knob, though.
Well,
you can do that.
He sat there, and I didn't realize this. That what T-Dub put together is he sat there and had some hip hop mute station on, and my car was thumping with the bass subwoofer. There's only a 10-inch subwoofer, and it was thumping.
It was hitting hard, and
like this.
And we only had the volume up to like 15, I think 17, 18, somewhere around in there.
He goes, it's good. And I go, why? He's sitting in the driver's seat and he goes, the rear view mirror's vibrating. I go, okay.
If everything behind you is shaking, something's good.
Yeah.
It works.
So down in Las Vegas now then. Is the strip open?
Strip, part of the strip's open, part of it isn't.
Watch.
All the casinos had certain dates that they can open from, or what the governor sat there and left it up to the casinos to open. But it was, what was it, last Friday? Hold on, I'm looking at the calendar. Yeah, last Friday, he sat there and he says, it's up to you on how to open. And so each one has been opening separately. But I would say the strip is back, almost back to normal, almost. It will never be back to normal until the virus goes away. But it's totally unique in how they got everything set up as far. You could sit there, you're at a blackjack table, and remember they're half moon shaped, okay? You can have six players there. Now it's only 3 players.
Yeah.
You got a guy in the middle, you got a guy at the far end, and a guy at the far end. The dealer's wearing a mask, and there's plexiglass shield in front of him or her.
Oh man, like they do
And they're dealing. Hey, you're gambling, you're playing. Hey, you're
gambling. You're gambling that you're not going to get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gambling, all right.
I mean, it's interesting. Slot machines. You have banks and banks and rows of slot machines. So this one's active with a chair. The one next to you doesn't have a chair, and the one next to that doesn't have a chair. And all of a sudden, the fourth one down has a chair, and it goes that way to keep social distancing.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing: the only store that I've been to in this valley that demands you wear a mask is Slow Grow, and that's where I buy my pot.
I suppose you don't mind wearing
social distance.
I mean, here's a place that's selling marijuana. They have a drive-up service that if you order online, you can sit there and join their little club and order and everything else. Myself, I like going in and looking at stuff. And here it is. They sit there, and if you don't have a mask, you don't get inside.
Yeah.
So, and I thought that was quite unique in them doing that.
I don't think there's anywhere that requires you wear a mask here. And
Well,
I
know one place right now. But then Nancy had this cool mask made.
Let me ask you this. Do you know if nobody told you about Corona? Like,
Yeah.
the news wasn't talking about it, nobody told you about it. Would have you noticed?
Would you, unless you got it, and then all your friends get it, and it sits there.
Well, do you know anyone who got it?
No, I think Pat and I both agree. I think we all had it at the end of December, 1st of January.
Exactly.
Because we all got sick here, really bad. Probably
yeah, so did we.
But to answer your question, no, I don't know anybody who's got it. And do I think I would have gotten it? I have no idea. But what industries has this helped, and what industries has this hurt?
Well, I think it's hurt everybody. It's helped the medical people.
Oh yeah, those guys and those guys are heroes too. T-Dub's stuck at Apple, so we will probably see him. Trying to get Emily's phone fixed. I can see those girls go through phones like most people go through clothing.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Andy Scrapping, what's going on? See, look in the chat here, Hazy. See who's going on. Okay, all right. But yeah, it's totally unique. So Hazy, how many people in Wales are wearing masks? Or
I would probably say like a 50-50. You know, not everybody's wearing them.
when you go out, do you wear a mask?
No.
Okay.
I don't, unless I have to. I don't feel like I can breathe with a mask on. I feel really claustrophobic. I
don't think it's going to do any good. I mean,
I have to wear one all day at work.
The mask is to protect other people around you from yourself, from you.
Yeah, but I figure
you're protecting them. What you're doing.
You distance yourself.
There's nonsense because they can touch everything. You can go in the store and you can touch everything. You can pick it up, look at it, put it back down. You know what I mean?
Well, you have your mask on. You're
It's
going to
not-
have that mask on for 5 minutes. What are you going to do? 5 minutes, your nose is going to itch. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
You're going to scratch your nose.
Nonsense. If they're that,
So
when you go
if
into
this was meant to protect you, well, it's not protecting you anymore if you scratched your nose.
listen, there should be signs saying
J.D.
don't touch product.
Scrapping doesn't even wear a condom, so.
Well, they're only effective, so much effective. You know, a condom is safe. You know, safe practices.
I reuse
just like
them.
a mask. It's a
I
condom
reuse
for your
them.
face.
Yeah, I reuse them. Just rinse it out with some distilled water and throw some KY on it and just reuse it.
There you go. The KY has the
I reuse them as well.
There you go.
Just turn them inside out.
spermicidal agent.
Bolognese sauce. I'll fill it up and chuck it in the freezer. I mean, you can get quite a lot in there.
All right. I guess I don't think Evelyn's gonna get on. Did she text?
What, Evelyn's getting on?
No,
T-Dub's at the Apple store getting Emily's phone, doing
I
something
know.
on his phone. KD Scrapping says, I do not even wear a condom. There you go.
There.
And
Don't
he's
need
having
to.
cold beer.
Well,
So are all of us.
they protect you more from the transmitted illnesses
Yeah.
probably than what they were intended to be used for. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying this is what you should do. This is what you should do for your health.
Paging Dr. Noble. Dr. Noble to the ER, please.
Dr. Noble to ER.
Well, that's what Pat and T-Dub sat there and call me every time I get a Dremel in my hand. And
Oh
try-
yeah. Oh yeah. We should get him a lab coat and a name tag stencil with his name and everything on it. That's not a
sit
bad
there and-
fucking idea.
Actually, to sit there and do it, you ought to sit there and catch me in a moment that I am cutting a tube with
Maybe.
the Dremel and sit there and video it. Then you have something to sit there and back up your story.
You just farted.
I had a
Jody,
lab coat.
She just farted.
It's my chair. It's fucking creaking.
Yeah.
She just
No, it's
farted.
quality-
Oh, she just
She just
farted.
farted.
Yeah.
She
that was
farted.
quality assurance in the optical lab. I had a lab coat.
She farted.
Listen,
When
my sister was the same age as her, she could fart on cue, and she would come and run over to me, sit on my lap, and just fart. Let one rip. All the time.
That's awesome.
And she come over and sit on you just to fart?
Yeah, and then run away.
Lovely
That's
child. Lovely child.
Let me get this open. I'm
How do
really
those
gonna-
kids
My
do
sister Natasha, she'd tell you today.
Alexander, what's going on?
I didn't go all the way down. Yeah, what's up, Alexander? I'll be right back, guys.
All right.
Hello, Alex. So what's going on, David? How's life for
Not
you?
much. Just hanging out. I came out here to see if Jimmy C was still on, and he was. I was on his show for an hour.
I managed to end up on his show last night for some reason.
Well, he said I missed everybody, and I said, well, I can't do all-nighters like I used to. I just can't stay up. So if I wake up early, I'll come out here and see if you're still on. And I'll try to get up earlier. I came out here at 4 o'clock, but if I wake up in the middle of the night, and, I was having coffee, and he said, well, I'm ready for another beer. And I said, it's too early to do beer.
What time was that?
You're just starting his day and he's ending his. So.
He's ending his day, and he's starting.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, you missed Ian, you missed Hazy Days, and you missed Johnny Five. And I go, man, if I just came out here an hour earlier, right?
Well, I was on his show. It must have been 3 o'clock
Oh,
this morning. my time.
You can eat right there.
Go ahead. I muted him.
Yeah, I was on the. I was on the.
I
call.
don't know what it is. It is uncanny. I always do something wrong with my computer when I'm on Jimmy C's show. And I found out what I did wrong today. There's been an upgrade
It was my camera. Sorry, David.
in my web browser that you can turn your volume off up on the taskbar on the top of the screen. I had turned Zoom off so I couldn't hear anybody, and I didn't know why. And I thought Jimmy C muted me because I still had YouTube up, and I needed like 1 second to go back and mute YouTube so it wouldn't feed back. And I thought it fed back, and Jimmy C muted me. It's a joke. It's kind of like a running joke that we have about me muting YouTube, because so many times I have forgotten to mute it, and I'm trying so hard. Now with Tom's, I don't have a problem. With yours, I don't have a problem. I know to mute the YouTube before I go into the StreamYard. But I don't know what it is with Jimmy C. I do something wrong. And I said, Jimmy, I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I don't know why the computer did that. You know.
So what happened to the stream? It was supposed to be going for 48 hours.
Huh?
It was supposed to be a 48-hour stream, wasn't it?
No, that was another stream. That was the stream Cindy was doing. I missed out on all of that. They were doing a raffle. People were donating stuff to raffle off to help Cindy out. And I would have been happy to put something up on the raffle. Would have put one of these big things up on there. I went on eBay this morning. These are going for $50. I didn't pay $50 for this. 20 max, and that included the shipping. The light was $10.
Yeah.
It's brand new, almost out of the box. Never been used.
We were, me and Dizzy were talking earlier, David, about when we all went out for the meal. When we were throwing popcorn and everything.
Oh, at Dizzy's.
At Dizzy's, yeah.
Yeah.
When we all went out, you know. It was.
There were a couple of peanut shell bars, and hence the name peanut shell bars. One comes to mind that they're no longer in business in the valley, was Roadhouse. And what we would end up doing is sitting there taking breaking the peanut, because you break the peanuts out of the shells, throw the shells on the ground, and we would take the peanuts and try to sit there and toss them into each other's drinks.
Hey, but they're back in town now.
Roadhouse?
Texas Roadhouse.
Back.
We just called
Craig.
Ruckus, didn't we, David?
They have a place here called Cracker Barrel, and you find it's not a bar, it's not a drinking establishment, it's a restaurant. It's a restaurant and a shop. You know, it's for people that are traveling. It's basically a tourist trap, and you find them along the interstate.
There's a place in Worcester called Rock and Smoke,
and they have that where you can eat peanuts and throw them on the floor.
Is it Rock and Smoke or Rock and Smoke?
I don't know. Rock and Smoke.
All right. Just curious.
That was in Worcester.
Google it.
I thought that was in Connecticut.
No, that's in Worcester.
Because I heard Captain Jerk talking about that, and I thought, how do they have that in Connecticut? None of that's legal in Connecticut. I could see it being in Worcester. It makes sense.
It's Worcester. Although the part of Connecticut I drove through, where I stopped at a place called Jimmy's for steak, it was so picturesque. It was unbelievable. It was like being in for me, it was like being in a movie. I mean, you fuckers live in America, but for me, it was like
a lot of movies were made there. You know,
you don't say. Yeah. So to me, it was like being in a movie. It was like, I don't know.
Maybe that's the same way.
I went through a lot of different places. You know, New York, Jersey City, then up to Worcester, Boston, through Connecticut, and so I seen a lot of different bits of America. You know what I mean? Like I seen the really nice
big country. You saw a good piece of the pie there, and anywhere you go in the country is all different. I mean, I haven't seen all of America. I've never been west of the Mississippi River, so I've seen less than half of it.
But I definitely intend to come back.
But just everywhere you go is different. I mean, there are some similarities, but different.
That was the same thing that happened to me. Is I was at Travis Air Force Base in 1971. Got on a stretch DC-8, and I can't tell you the amount of time. I know we stopped at Anchorage, Alaska. I know we stopped at Yokota, Japan. I know I stopped at Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines, and we landed at Bangkok, Thailand. I got off the plane. The military took me to a hotel called the Miami Hotel and said, "You're here for the night. We'll pick you up in the morning. Be down here at 5:30 in the morning. The rest of the time's yours." And I'm going, fuck. And I get in my room and I look out the window and I go, Jesus Christ, what the hell have I stepped into here? Because talk about
that would be
backwards. I
That
definitely
sounds
did.
so wonderful. That sounds wonderful.
Uh-huh.
I'd love to go to Canada as well. I mean, to be honest, Canada was probably what my first choice to go. Yeah, I've always had a little thing with Canada. I think the whole thing of the Canadian life, you know, with the fucking great outdoors and
It's a great.
I
I
was
know a
told
lot of
in
people.
Canada,
Yeah.
you could leave your front door open, you know, and it was like safe.
Leave
But
leave the keys in the ignition of your car, leave your house unlocked, and go to bed at night and not worry
Wait.
about a damn
I'm
thing.
sorry I missed Drive Shaft Drew. He was wanting to do his get together at the end of June, and I don't have a passport yet. I keep putting off getting a passport. I need to get one, but that's too soon. You know, it's too uncertain right now. We don't know what's going to be going on in the end.
the truth of the matter is that there's so many places because of YouTube and the people I've met. There's so many places I'd love to go just to meet these people, you know.
I just love Drive Shaft Drew. He is like a dad. I don't know if he really is Dizzy's daddy, but he would be a good daddy. You know, a good person.
He is a good dad. He is a good dad. It's not he would be. He is. And yeah, he's a true family man. He's a hard-working man, you know.
No BS guy. He doesn't put up with anything. Tells you how it is. You know.
And he almost poked a hole in my chest too, one time.
Let him
I
use
mean,
it.
These numbers,
John, we put a stairs over there. If you want to get over, you can.
every
Is
time
he
every word he said, he'd
dad for
fucking
real?
poke me with his big fucking claw arm.
Is he Dizzy's dad for real?
No, he's not Dizzy's dad for real.
no.
Oh, okay. But I would be.
Isn't Drive Shaft Drew as big as you, Hazy?
Oh, he's not small. He's not as big as me, but yeah, he's a big fella.
Tom,
He
you
got
didn't see my.
He got arms like fucking legs. He's strong as fuck. Like he's a strong man, you know.
Yeah.
So I had to let him win it an arm wrestle, didn't I?
You need to see my video, Tom. Drive Shaft Drew's in my video. But you know what Drive Shaft.
I had a great time. Like I could never explain to you like how much that meant to me, that trip. Never. I couldn't possibly, because I still don't know how much it meant to me. I just knows it was fucking lots, and every now and again something else will happen in my life, and because of that trip, I don't know, just things just.
Hazy,
I think about
Put it
Harry.
on the ground.
here it is.
Harry's going to remember that.
It's
Harry's
a
gonna
year later, and you're still talking about the trip. So
Yeah.
that shows that
How do
it
you
means a whole lot to you. Because if after
how do
you're
you
still
remember?
talking about it, it means something to you.
It was more
Harry
than
will
my
remember that.
biggest
He'll be
adventure.
talking about that 10 years from now.
Yeah,
you know.
it was our biggest adventure ever, you know.
Well, think about Jack. Think about Jack. And
I know.
how the Jack sat there at his age, was able to go to America, and then the stories he was able to go back and tell his mates at school.
Yeah.
I mean, that right there is worth the price of admission. And to be a fly on the wall and to listen to some of those stories.
Because my mother kept saying to me, leading up to the trip, you know, when I was telling her that, you know, things were really looking good and that, you know, I had certain things in place and things were paid for and all that. She kept saying to me, listen, I hope you understand that this is like a massive achievement, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was just thinking, yeah, okay. But it was really, you know?
Well, Hazy, we did everything we could to pamper you and make you feel welcome. You said all you guys do is eat pizza and hamburgers. And I said,
know,
well, that's
listen.
what we do when we get people together and we
Listen,
want.
the truth of the matter is, when I come and seen you were all great. But you know, when I met people that didn't even know me in America, like everyone was great. Wherever I went, everybody was great.
Yeah.
Everyone, like seriously, it was
But
unbelievable.
we don't eat pizza and hamburgers all the time. But
No, we throw hot dogs and
we gotta
sausage.
have a good
Yes, you
time.
do.
We eat hot dogs. We eat green
Listen,
beans.
but I had plans when I come to America. I had plans of all these fancy meals and stuff, but no, it's pizza, fucking burgers,
Burgers.
yeah,
That's
chicken wings.
the good stuff,
I
man.
had Chinese food
Chinese.
twice. I did have 2 steaks whilst I was in America.
And I bought you one of those steaks. I told you I was going to buy you a steak, and I did.
I know you did. That we were talking about it earlier. It was fucking.
And that was a good steak, wasn't it? But they had a good
Yeah,
steak.
they brought me a salad out like way before my steak.
All right, if Hazy
Yeah.
ever comes out here, we'll take him down to Great Western Meats and let him look at a butcher counter.
Yeah, well, I'm going to Vegas. I don't know
Pick
when.
out your steak, Hazy.
When that?
You'll get something about this thick, about this big
Yeah.
around, whether it be
Yeah.
T-bone, porterhouse, whatever. And it's, yeah.
Listen, that's a fucking $100 steak.
You'll pay about $39 for it.
Oh, a porterhouse is like $10 if you buy it and do it yourself.
Yeah.
All right, my turn.
But if you have it out, yeah, you're gonna pay like $40 per meal, which was nothing. When I went out to lunch Tuesday at friends, we all went out to lunch. Well, the restaurants are open back up, so you can go out and eat. And lunch was $32 for lunch. And I go, wait a minute, what was lunch?
Yeah, what did you have?
But you could drop some change here. Well, he ordered like a baked spaghetti or a baked lasagna. And if you order the special, it saves you money. I got the catfish. And it was like $7 something for that entree. But he ordered the baked spaghetti or whatever, and it was like $12 for. And they brought this big. I'm not saying he got a bad deal on it. They brought this big plate out to him, this about a foot long with this baked spaghetti on it. He had to take some of it home with him. But that's how much it costs, you know. 2 of you go out.
What I did notice in America though is not a lot of places cater well for children.
No, really not. That's not. We're weak in that area.
Yeah.
We have this pizza place. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Cece's, and they cater to kids. You know, the pizza's like paper thin, and they have like a buffet. And McDonald's
A few
caters.
places are okay, but like there were a lot of places that didn't cater
No.
to children.
What? Now you'll run into a restaurant. They call it a family style restaurant. They're more.
Was you with us when we all went for a Chinese meal?
No, I wasn't there for the Chinese.
No.
I was there for the Pub 99, and we did pizza at Dizzy's.
Yeah.
The big thing right now in Vegas is back before the virus and everything else was the tomahawk ribeye. And let me show you.
Oh yeah, I've seen one of them.
Let me show you this. Hang on.
Yeah, no, that's a nice piece of meat.
And that's usually about 1.5 to 2 inches thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call it the Fred Flintstone steak.
Yeah. Like a lollipop
Because
steak.
you have the bone. Yeah.
So, and actually, if you go down, Great Western Meats in town here is where I buy most of my beef, and it's like an old style 50s, 60s butcher counter. Pat can tell you this, sitting there that you walk into, and you've got every cut of meat, everything, and they don't. If you're going in there for a little thin steak like that, you ain't.
They're gonna kick you out.
Your steaks start about that thick,
You go to
and go up to here.
You go to your supermarket for the thin stuff.
Exactly. You go to a grocery
Oh,
store.
T-bone,
Go to your
and it was
grocery
fucking
store.
huge. It was bigger than the plate, and it was about that thick. I bought 2 of them, one for me and one for Kate.
Starting period.
It was like I think it cost me almost 30 quid for 2 steaks.
Well, you got a good deal there. It's like $15 a steak. That's what the running price is here.
Yeah,
And that's
these
with
are
your
huge.
side, your fries or your salad or whatever that comes with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you come here, Hazy, you pick your own steak, and then you get to cook your own steak.
Yeah,
That's,
you gotta kill it first though too. You gotta go hunting for it.
no, it's easy to cook a steak. It takes 10 minutes.
Listen, I want somebody to cook it for me. Shit.
Well, when we go, I'll cook it for you. I cook a good steak.
I bet you
I'll
do.
ask you how you want it, and I'll cook it the way you want it. That's the best way to have steak if you cook it yourself. I mean,
I know,
you can cook it
because
the way you like
sometimes
it.
I like it different ways, you know. Sometimes I like it well done. Depending
Yeah.
on what steak it is.
Yeah.
What's the old expression that I heard Woody Harris say? Just knock the hooves off it, pass it across the grill twice, and throw it on the plate.
Yeah.
So actually, no, there you'd sit there and you go like this, and right off the bat, this is rare. This
Yeah.
is medium rare. This is medium well, or medium. This is medium well, and then this is well done. And if you
Gotta put my
feel
beard down.
that you feel this muscle here at the bottom of your thumb, you feel it tighten up, and that's how you cook your steak. When it's like this, it's all loose and flabby and everything else. When you go to well done, it's all hard.
You don't want to have well
So
done. It's
that's,
like a
that's
rock.
why you see a lot of chefs sitting there poking your steak while they're cooking it. They're figuring out what the tenderness is of it, or not the tenderness, the doneness.
The doneness.
Doneness. New word.
I'm
Doneness.
sure you just made that word up.
I just did. But this is what I use when I'm cooking steaks. And I think Pat can attest that I haven't screwed it up that bad yet.
I just look at it and just gauge it's been in there.
You don't want a steak that's well done. It's like a rock.
Hazy looks at it and goes, I'm hungry now. It's done.
Yeah. I say, would you look at that?
Yeah, it's brown on both sides. I'm hungry now. I'm done.
Yeah, that's rare.
Tell you what, that Sammy stuff was pretty good. I got a good buzz going.
Don't know what Alex is talking about.
Oh, Pat, you want to come up Saturday night and you can sit there and pick that Space Ghost one up?
That what? Oh, okay, yeah, if you want.
Yeah. Or we can light it up and smoke it then.
Fuck yeah. Doobie.
You need to get back over here, Hazy. We'll go to Las Vegas and get
I
us.
don't want steak that
And
steak like a boot rubber. Oh, okay.
but I am going to Las Vegas. I just told Tom I don't know when, but I'm going to go.
You're more than welcome.
I'd like to take that Grand Canyon tour on the helicopter. How much do you know about that?
Well, let's say back in the 80s, they were crashing a lot of helicopters, but lately they haven't. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, I mean, I've been in two. So we
Well,
didn't
they do crash, but you got to. That's that.
Yeah, but you were in the nice ones, Hazy. You were the ones that were all insulated and everything else and had vibration.
First one I went in was
I was in
Yeah,
the military ones that you were going like this and you were talking like this and okay, let's go. All right, here we go. Yeah, all right.
I'd like to go to the car shows with Kenny. I don't know what it is. I like Kenny. I mean, he's a great guy. I try to watch every live show he does. He does one at 11 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday mornings, if you can. Bring my camera and get some video.
Actually, the one on Sunday used to be on Friday night, and I showed Kenny that one, and then I introduced him to the guy at the Dairy Queen, the guy in the Dairy Queen in the shopping center. He's the one that started it, and I went to that one probably about 2 or 3 times with my black SS 2010 Camaro, and then once with the 2012 ZL1. And then they started on Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Sunday morning. if they started.
It's like 9 a.m. here, in the
Well,
U.S.
Kenny's there. Kenny's there at 6. He starts going live around 7, I think it is.
Yeah.
And I told him about that show, and he goes, "You're kidding me?" And I go, "No." And he's still trying to get me to go
They
out.
get up before it gets hot.
I won't take the Camaro too far from house until I get the front end aligned and tailpipes on it. It's just, it's a basket case to drive.
I'll tell you what, Tom, it's killing the heck out of me. That's what my nephew does for a living is alignments, and he does them very well. I mean, gosh, if you lived here, that thing would be aligned and on the road.
I got a place that's going to do it. You got to remember, it's all race suspension underneath it. I got a place that's going to do it. They got to just open up for the virus thing. That's all.
Well, see, Robbie did those Mopar races. They did Mopar. I mean, I know you got Chevy, but he knows all that race stuff. He built he worked for his boss built race cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been exposed to all that. He's been around that. He'd help you with that. You would have that car on the road right now if you had him.
It's on the road. I take it around every now and then, but I gotta probably Monday. I'm gonna call the alignment place, see if they're open, and the tailpipe place, and see if they're open. Tailpipes first, then alignment, because once I get the alignment done, hell, we're cruising now. We're going.
Get that alignment done. That's driving me crazy. Go ahead. Tom, get your alignment.
Hey, you got to remember. Underneath the '68 Camaro is a 2000 and whatever chassis. I mean,
Yeah.
It is not stock. I've set it up as far as my little infinite knowledge of setting. I never set a car up like this. I was drag racing, not road racing, and this is a road racing car. And I set it up as best as I could. Pat looked at me a couple of times, and I'm sitting there, and I got squares on the front end, and I'm sitting there making sure, okay, yeah, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to rough line it.
You can do your own alignment. You know that.
I know.
You don't have to take it somewhere. You can do it yourself.
I want it professionally done because it's a professional race car chassis that's underneath it with an amateur installing it. So we need to have a professional align it.
Yeah, that's up to you. I mean, I don't have anything. I don't have a problem with that.
I've got to go. I've got to. It's half past.
You gotta go.
Okay, Hazy.
All right, Hazy. Thanks for stopping in, man.
How long are you going on for?
I don't know. I just realized it's 4:30. We've been on 2 hours. We'll go until we're done.
Right. It's been a pleasure talking, guys. I'll speak to you soon.
First, before you go, I love what you and
Guinness
Disney did on Grant's. Did Grant get really that fucked up? I was there earlier and I didn't see it. So.
Oh yeah, you got that fucked up. I think we carried the show on for a half hour.
Yeah, I was watching it.
It got to the point I was like, "What are we doing? Like, how long is this going to go on for? We got to stop it." So I waited till it said 2 hours up in the corner and pulled the plug.
So Grant got trashed that fast?
He was drinking moonshine.
You don't have to put him down his neck.
I watched about the first 30 minutes of Grant's show because I missed everything last night.
He probably had a couple before he went live,
Oh, okay. I don't start until I go live, so if I'm going to get trashed,
I'll
get trashed on my show.
It's not my business, but you shouldn't get trashed on your live show because you're the host. I mean, it's all right to get a buzz on, to be a little toasty, but to get
I've done it twice.
Yeah.
Well, I've gotten trashed on these shows, but I'm not the host.
When I drank a whole bottle of Southern Comfort, that was messy.
But really, do you want to drink so much that you wake up the next morning, you don't remember anything that happened during that show?
The thing is, you never want
to go back and watch
flowing, and shit happens.
Yeah, the Southern Comfort, that was a blast.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I got a bottle of Southern Comfort. I never tried it. I got a bottle of Southern Comfort, and it was like drinking paint.
That can't
like
be good.
That you know what you paint a guitar with? You know what you make a guitar shiny with? That's what it's like.
It tastes nice.
It's a citrusy. It's a nice. Really, it's not a bad beverage, but I never got another bottle of Southern Comfort. I have no desire to get it again.
Okay.
It's
Right.
like drinking paint.
All right. All right, Hazy. I
Off-
want to thank you for stopping in, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
No problem. I'll speak to you all soon.
Have a
All
good
right.
one. Okay. All right. Let's see. KD scrapping, Alexander. Who else we got in here? Who else is in here? KND. Shandog left. Gaffa, you still here? Okay. All right. No, I like steaks cook what I want. I mean, Nancy and I have been going to Outback and sit there, and what we've been doing is Outback's curbside been gone, and all I will order is a steak, medium rare, and a salad. They go, what about the other extras? Keep them. That's all I want.
No
I want
potatoes.
potato. I don't want nothing. Unless you're willing to give me a pitcher of margaritas, leave it alone.
I'll take the margaritas too.
Oh, Pat,
I'll take the steak and the margaritas and the potatoes.
I was telling David about Viva Micados and
Yeah.
the pitcher of margaritas.
That's pretty good.
And we decided I'm coming to Vegas. It's a matter of when. We got to wait till this mess clears down a little bit. We got to wait till the weather is right for us. I don't want to come in the blasting summer or in the deep of winter,
Yeah.
But,
I hear it's a lot of fun. That Lake Mead, I was watching somebody on YouTube. They did a video.
Hey, David, look at it this way. You come out here, hang with me. I'm retired. We can go all day long. I can take you out to Lake Mead. I can actually take you to places in Lake Mead that the tourists don't even go to.
Well, they were doing rock climbing on Lake Mead. They were on a boat. I guess you rented a boat somewhere, and they jumped in the water and they were swimming around, and they would swim over to this mountain and climb up on these rocks, and then they'd get up on this cliff and they would jump off the cliff in the water.
Oh, cliff diving at Lake Mead? No.
Yeah.
No.
They weren't diving. They were just jumping,
Well, diving or jumping or whatever. Actually, one's no longer on the planet, but I've got two friends who sat there and did that. And I think Nancy's got one friend who sat there and did that are in a wheelchair.
Well, it wasn't.
You stand up on the cliff and you look down, and it looks like it's deep as hell, but you're diving in this much water.
That water was really deep. They showed the video they showed was the people going down, and they weren't wearing scuba gear or anything. They must really swim well.
Mm-hmm.
And I do too. I'm a really good swimmer. When I go to the pool, I don't want anything to do with the shallow end. I go straight to the deep end of the pool. And it's like, man, I'd love to do Lake Mead. That sounds like fun. You get you a boat.
Go to Mojave.
You
Mojave's
drive up
Yeah.
somewhere, kind of secluded, and you get off the boat. And
Well, actually, if you want to do something like that, then you go to Mojave, which is you got Lake Mead, you got the dam, and then you go downstream from the dam, and you got Lake Mojave.
You know the places. I mean, Lake Mead's probably the tourist trap. So you.
Well,
know.
actually, if I were to take you wanted to go to Lake Mead, I would take you north of Lake Mead, almost where it gets filled from, up to Echo Bay.
Well, if you ever come to North,
Echo Bay is
North Carolina.
Yeah, Echo
Those
Bay.
places.
You go all the beaches on Lake Mead. They're all little pebbles and rocks and everything, and you will only get to the sand until you get to the last maybe 10 or 15 feet of the. Pat, you explain it better. You know what I'm saying.
What?
Lake Mead, the beaches, they're not sandy.
No, they're not.
Yeah, but you go up to Echo Bay, and they are sandy.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
I would
there,
take you north. I would take you north to Echo Bay and let you go out, do all the swimming that you wanted to do. And then the other side of the coin is after Echo Bay, we'd further go down. It's called Lakeshore Drive, and take you further north and then get out at the Valley of Fire and show you a whole bunch of Indian stuff.
Yeah, and if you ever come here to North Carolina, I can show you some beaches. That's probably the main attraction about my state. I'm about 4 hours from the beach.
You're gonna laugh, David. If I ever make it to North Carolina, you know what I want to go see? I want to see Charlotte Speedway, and I want to see the USS Wisconsin.
And you would probably come into the Douglas International Airport. Well, that's a major hub for American. It was it was Piedmont US Airways. Now it's American.
And then the other thing I would probably want to do was go to, because I am such a big Dale Earnhardt fan, is go to Dale Earnhardt's
His museum.
Museum, yeah.
His museum, and then his God. No, I can't think.
Well, it's all here. NASCAR. They got. I'd show you. I'd take.
And actually, in 2005, Nancy and I had tickets to go to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we were going to stay the week, and we were going to see the champion. What do they call it? Championship. Well, on the week before the Coca-Cola 500, they had the championship race. Or the All-Star race or any. We were seeing the All-Star race. We're staying a week, and then we're going to see the Coca-Cola 600. And then all of a sudden,
I know stuff about NASCAR that you don't know.
Oh, here, let me show you something. Well, let's see. Come on. That's Nancy and I, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, sitting on the fence at the starting line in March 11, 2007, for the start of the race. Oh, we were doing NASCAR big time back in the day. Ask Pat.
Yeah.
But no, there are so many things that I would want to see that really probably aren't on the major tourist list of people who go to North Carolina.
Yeah, well, I'll steer you away from the tourist and show you the.
I know that you have the USS Wisconsin,
and that's closed right now. That people can't get on that right now. They closed that because of the COVID.
Yeah, but the USS Wisconsin is one of the 4 Iowa-class battleships that were made in World War II. There's only 4 of them.
Well, that's on the.
I've been on the Missouri. I've been on the Iowa. I haven't been on the Wisconsin, and I haven't been on the New Jersey. I don't think I'll make it to the New Jersey. I think I might make it to the Wisconsin, depending upon how much Nancy's going to keep working.
Yeah.
But that, if I get in that area, I mean that rough area right there is the heart of NASCAR. I was a big NASCAR fan. I'm not so.
I'm an hour and a half from Charlotte. The Speedway's in Concord.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there are a bunch of things I want to see. I mean, God,
your plane would probably come into Charlotte.
But
depending on where
isn't the USS North Carolina still in there? God, I can't remember that. I know there's 2 battleships around there, and I love that.
They're out on the coast. They're 4 hours from me.
Yeah. So, and actually, I've driven a lot further. When we were up in Boston, we went to Battleship Cove, and Dizzy didn't realize how close I was to him. And this is before I knew Dizzy.
Yeah, before you knew Dizzy.
I knew of Dizzy and of you two because I wasn't doing it, but I was there for the city of Henderson on every time I go for a committee meeting or go to the meetings and everything else, I would go for the city and then I'd stay 2 days to see the area. And
sure,
why
not? Why not? You're there, you're here, so do it.
But yeah, it was unbelievable. Actually, Boston, Massachusetts was probably the most fun time my wife and I had in a long time, because we were both like little kindergarten kids laughing that we have gotten lost about the third time. And then we're sitting at a stoplight because we're looking for the Kennedy Library, and we're sitting at a stoplight, and Nancy looks up and goes, "Kennedy Library's right here, honey."
Well, see, the thing to do in Boston is use the public transportation.
Yeah.
No, that's no fun.
The T.
Not for me and Nancy. That's no fun. Getting lost is fun.
Well, yeah, if you like getting lost, that is
You
your
find
cup of
so
tea.
much neat stuff getting lost. I mean,
Yeah.
I took her to Salem, Mass, and I did GPS on the phone, took her to Salem, Mass, and she got to see all the witch stuff. That's where I got my crystal ball.
That's where Dick King's Disaster Garage went while they were there. They went through the
And
Salem.
Nancy went through everything that she wanted to do, but then we turned around and drove out, and then we found an Ono's Pizza, which is a Chicago-based pizza. We pulled in there and sat there and had Chicago-based pizza in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah, you can get anything in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah, so it was
The thing
great.
to do is to get the crab cakes at Legal Seafood. There's a company called Legal. It was these two lawyers. They started a business, and it's a restaurant, and it's called Legal Seafood. Their specialty is the crab cakes.
Okay. Well, it's going on 4:46.
Yeah.
And we've been on 2 hours. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I want to thank Hazy Days for showing up on the panel. Awesome, Hazy. I want to really thank you for that. Alexander Smith, KD Scrapping, Shandog. If I don't mention your name, please, I apologize. Gaffa, Teresa, everybody, thanks for coming. It was great. I enjoyed the conversation. I would really appreciate anybody sit there and think about my question, and I'm more than willing to talk about it.
I'll think about it.
But
Yeah.
think about it. And Shandog just got back. Shandog, I'm just getting ready to sign off, dude. Sorry. And so everybody, thanks, and we'll pick it up next Friday. Let's see. Hold it. Whose T-shirt? Hold on. Wait. Hang on for a minute. Let's. King's Disaster Garage was sending me a T-shirt. If I get it, it'll be on next Friday's show. So, and King's Disaster Garage, thank you for showing up. So everybody have a good weekend. Enjoy your Saturday. Stay safe. Practice social distancing, please. Don't want this shit going around. And y'all have a good one.
You too.
Hold one for me. Later.
See you guys.